channel. If you're new here, my name is samiljulissa, or you can just call me Samil. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my tips of surviving college, my top 5 survival guide tips. I don't really know 100% what I'm going to call this video, but you guys see the title, you guys are here, you guys are ready for the tea, and I'm ready to give it to you because it's hot, okay? Period. So honestly, y'all, these are just my tips on what I felt are most crucial to follow, and like, I just think this is just the most important tips. I'm telling y'all, okay? Like, this will really help you survive college, and if you don't follow these tips, y'all will not survive. Y'all will struggle. Y'all will struggle. Period. Okay, so obviously, though, everybody's college experience is different, so I kind of kept it for the general population. I didn't try to go too deep into, like, you know, things. I just kind of kept it broad, but I kept it important. Okay, I'm telling you, these are important tips that you must follow if you want to survive college. Okay, so enough of me talking, let's just hop right into the video. Okay, y'all, so if you see me looking down, I actually just have my notebook, just, you know, to keep me on track so I don't start talking in a tangent, because I do that all the time. Literally, I do that all the time. So we're just gonna get down to it. I'm just gonna lay it all down the line. Pretty simple tips, also, like, literally super easy to follow. You just have to follow, okay? You just have to listen to me, take my word for it, okay? I'm telling you. So the first tip I have, and this one right here is so important. Like, this is so, like, I knew this from the very beginning, because, okay, like, I knew not to waste my time and money. So the first tip is to save money on your books. Do not buy your textbooks before class. Like, before you even step foot into the class, don't buy your textbooks, because one, you may even want to drop the class and you just bought the textbook for no reason. So for one. Two, you might not even need the textbook at all. There are times where teachers just put it on the syllabus just because it's on there, but then you get there, they're like, y'all, we're not even going to use the book. Don't buy it, yada, yada, yada. Or there's times where literally you probably only use the book like once. So save money on books, and this is how you can do it. One, rent your books. Rent your books. Do not buy your books. If you have, like, I don't know if this is all colleges, but at my university that I went to, they actually gave you the option at the bookstore to buy them or rent them, and renting them was way cheaper. But even further than that, you can just go on different websites on the internet and rent your books at different websites. You can go to Chegg and rent your books. I've done that numerous times. You can go to Amazon and rent your books. I've done that numerous times, and it's so much cheaper, because textbooks literally will cost you like $100, especially if you need like access codes and stuff. If you need access codes, it's kind of really not much you can do about that. You kind of just have to buy the code, and the code is going to be like $100. You can't buy somebody else's code. Like, the code is going to be for you. But if you don't need any access codes, you just need to buy the textbook, don't buy the textbook. Don't buy the textbook. Also, another alternative is to see if there's previous students who've taken the class who have the textbook, they're willing to give it to you, willing to sell it to you for a really cheaper price. Because there's people that literally bought the book, didn't really need it that much, and they're like, okay, what am I supposed to do now with this textbook that I'm going to have for the rest of my life? So they're selling them. There's just so many different ways you can get textbooks for your class. Or there's sometimes you don't even need the book at all. My freshman year, I didn't buy one textbook. I didn't buy not one textbook. I just somehow finessed my way through. Made really good grades. I had really good grades my freshman year without buying a single textbook, okay? Don't know how I did it. I do not how I did it, okay? But I'm telling you, half the time, you don't really need to go out and buy a $100, $200 textbook, okay? You don't have to do that. And another alternative is you can definitely buy the ebook. The ebook is definitely going to be cheaper than an actual physical book, and that's better too, because if you're one of those people that like to bring your electronics to class, like a MacBook, or just a computer in general, iPads, anything like that, if you like to bring all that to class, it's so much easier, because you literally can just pull up the ebook instead of actually having a physical book in class, because nobody wants to carry around a big old book to class, period. So save money on textbooks, don't buy them. So my second tip is know your professors. I kind of touched on this one in my freshman advice video. I'll link that up in the iCards on one of these sides. I can't really remember, but I'll link that up there, and I'll link that down below in the description box for you. But this, y'all, is so important. I cannot stress this enough, to know your professors. First of all, know your professors before you even hop into the class. So before you even choose your class for the semester, make sure you go and rate my professor and look up the teacher that you're gonna have, or look up different teachers teaching the course that you want, and pick the best option, because it is so important to know your teacher, their teaching style, what they offer, what the class is going to be like. Rate my professor is going to give you a general outlook on the class, what students felt about it, what they feel about the teacher. So it's really important to go on there before you enter any class, because even on like the first day of class, you kind of get a glimpse of what the class is going to be like. You definitely get a glimpse of what the class is going to be like, but regardless, it helps you before you even step foot in there and waste your time. Like, just save time and definitely just go and rate my professor. But once you're already in the class and you've done all that, make sure your teacher knows your name. Okay, that's so important, because if I say so important one more time, I'm gonna literally scream. But I'm telling you, because especially as a freshman, there are 100, 200, 300 people in a class. They don't know you, and they're not gonna get the time to know your name. So if there's times where like you have a 89.89%, you want that 90, if they don't know who you are, they're not gonna round it. Some teachers are gonna be nice enough to do it, but when they have 300 students, they're not going to do it. They're just gonna put them grades in and they're gonna submit them. Or just in general, like, you just want your teachers to know who you are so they can be aware of your presence, and they can help you along the way if you need to. Like, they're gonna really see that you're trying, because you're emailing them, you're talking to them in class, you're asking questions. They're gonna see that you're really committed and involved with the lectures, with the class in general, and they're gonna help you out, and they're gonna see that. Because especially when the class has over 100 people in it, they're gonna see like, oh, this person really cares about what they're doing. They really are trying. They're not just sitting in here and not want to be here, blah blah blah. So make sure your professor knows your name. Go to the office hours. If you need any type of question, go to the office hours. You can send an email, and that's also really good, just so they know your name. But to make sure they put a face to the name, go to their office hours and always talk to them. Even if it's just like a hi, hello, whatever. Just like, hey, I'm in your so-and-so class. I just wanted to ask a question, or I just want to say da-da-da. Like, it doesn't matter what you say, okay? Just make sure they put a face to the name so they help you out, okay? Period. So for my third tip on surviving college, and this one is very crucial. This one is very, 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 you already know what I'm gonna say, important. And this is just genuinely simply meeting new people. And I said this once again in my advice for freshman video, because it's just so important to talk and make friends and, you know, get out there. You don't want to be in your room, everybody's out talking to people, and you know, you don't even have people in your class to ask about the homework with, or you don't have anybody to go eat with at the dining hall with, or anything like that. Like, that sucks, and nobody wants to be that person in college. It's not like you have to have 50 million friends and all that stuff, but just meet new people. You know, just talk, just have that person in class, you know, you say hey to, sit next to. Like me, we weren't best friends or anything like that, but I always had people in class that I sat with and was like, hey, like, how was your day? Like, da da da, you know, like, just meeting different people. You can make so much connections that way. Join organizations. It just makes college such a more fun experience, and not just like overwhelming, because college definitely can be overwhelming for some people. I understand that. Like, people are stressed with their classes, their tests, and just everything just going on in life, period. Especially with the pandemic happening now, it's going to be like a lot more stressful than it should be. But just meeting new people is just so, makes it worth it, I say. Like, I don't know, it's just, you get the college experience. Like, you get to meet people, mingle, talk, they can help you and stuff. Like, I met people that helped me so much, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I didn't beat you, like, I really wonder what I would have done, because there's some people that helped me in so many different ways, and I've helped other people I've met in college in so many different ways. So meet new people, okay? And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Meet new people, join clubs, and that's just that on that. So the fourth tip that I have for you guys is very, 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 very serious. It's a very serious one, and this one is stay organized, take great notes. Do not go to class and just sit there. Don't just sit there on your phone scrolling through. Don't do that, because you are wasting your time. You might as well not be there. People will go to class simply for attendance, just so they can say they went there. But if you're not taking notes and you're not actively listening, if you're just passively listening, it was no point in being there. And when it's time for you to study, you're like, I don't know anything. I don't even have anything to go back on, because you didn't take the time to actually spend the hour 15 minutes you have in that class, however long, 50 minutes, hour 15 minutes, 3 hours, whatever, to actually sit there and write some notes. Like, it literally, it's not hard to sit there and write notes. Whether you want to do it on your laptop, whether you want to do it on your phone, whether you want to do it on an actual piece of paper, which I think is the most effective way to actually write down your notes on paper. Or there's some teachers that actually put their lecture slides on like your school system, and you could just print them out and fill in them during class, like literally. Or even if they put them on their school system and you're like, oh, it's online, like print them out and look through them as you go. Make your own notes that make sense to you, because sometimes teachers' notes really don't make sense to anybody but them, you know. And you're like, oh, it's online, and then you go back and look and you're like, what does this even mean? Like, I don't understand. And then you're blowing up the teacher, asking 50 million questions, or you probably just don't even care. Like, don't do that. Stay organized and take really effective notes, because it's going to help you in the long run when you're studying. Because also, when you're studying with other people and stuff, or just studying in general, you're like, because half the time you're like, want to talk to somebody who is taking good notes, and you know, you're causing them a lot of stress, because then they feel obligated to try to teach you the material, and they're already stressed as it is. And it's like, you didn't have to do that. You could have just had your own notes. You guys could have compared, you guys could have worked together. But instead, it's like they're playing teacher to you, and that's not fun. It's not cool. Like, even if they are willing to help you and everything like that, just do your part. You know, you're in school for a reason. Take notes. Don't just sit in class and not do anything. Because one, like I said, teachers, they see that. They see that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not caring. You're just sitting there just for attendance. And they don't like that. And they're not going to help you out when you need it. So don't just sit there with a blank stare, staring in the sun, because you might as well just not even go. Honestly. And the last tip I have for you is honestly tea. Okay, it's just the cherry on top. This is just something that everybody needs to just be aware of. Everybody just needs to understand, comprehend. Okay, and this is just take responsibility for your actions. And this just goes for anything in college, literally anything. If you know you're doing wrong, don't be surprised when things happen, okay? If you're not studying for your test and you get back and you got an F, don't be surprised. If you're going to class and just on your phone the whole time, you don't do good on the test, don't be surprised. If you're skipping class, you know, if you're not doing well, don't go to the teacher and be like, I don't understand why, like, you're just causing so much unnecessary stuff for the teacher, and they're just like, look, did you study for the test? Like, how long did you study for? Like, teachers are literally going to be like, you have to study for at least 2, 3, 4 hours for this class a day. Like, teachers say that all the time. It's literally in the syllabus, and they're like, are you doing that? And you're like, no. But they're going to be like, well, I told you have to spend 2, 3, 4 hours a day studying. You know, like, you can't just not take responsibility of your actions and just put that on other people. No, you're in college by yourself. This is like the most independent you'll probably ever be in your youth. Okay, like, take responsibility, take accountability for your actions. Like, literally be responsible. Don't sit there and waste your time. I know people that literally get there in college and they just goof off. They don't do what they're supposed to do, and then they're looking back like, oh, I didn't do so good in my freshman year, and because you didn't take it serious and you weren't responsible and you weren't taking accountability for your actions. Literally be responsible. And that's just the tea. Don't go to a party on a Tuesday night and expect to wake up for your 8 a.m. and pay attention. That doesn't make any sense. Like, you can have fun and stuff like that, but you just have to be responsible, and don't try to put it on the other people when things don't go your way. Because if you do stuff like that, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go your way. And that's just as simple as that. That's just period. So if you constantly are doing that, you're not going to survive. You're not going to do what you want to do. You're not going to get the grades that you want. You're not going to excel the way that you want. You're not going to be successful in college if you just aren't responsible, aren't doing what you're supposed to do. So those were my 5 tips. These are just 5, y'all. I can come up with so many more, but these are just 5 tips to survive college. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want more college videos, let me know in the comments down below. Just let me know any specific videos you guys want me to film college related. I will do it for you. But these are just the tips that I feel like are really important for you guys to know before you head into college. This goes for all grades, like freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, whatever, because literally everybody needs to follow these rules. It's not just for freshmen, even though I know this is mainly for freshmen. You guys want the tea more than anybody else, but yeah. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one.